What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, yes, there is some crazy Splitgate news that I have to discuss. And also, the new mid-season event for Black Ops 6 is going to be dropping today. So there's things I want to cover, and I will be streaming that mid-season event today as well over on Twitch, so if you guys are curious about my first impressions, or even want to squad up on the new map with me, you can find a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video. But I have to push those a bit back because today's video is going to be hyper-prioritized on how it seems that the Call of Duty community is finally waking the fluke up. Again, I've seen pushback from the community over these years. I have. But it's never been to the point where it's at right now, where it seems that Activision literally can't say two words without getting absolutely demolished by the overall community over on Twitter. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know, Activision actually came out and put out a post for the brand new mid-season event, as you can see right here. Threat level, extremely giggly. Seth Rogen joins the fight in Call of Duty coming in Season 3 Reloaded. And boy, oh boy, first and foremost, I gotta say, this is the corniest thing I think I've ever witnessed. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy some of Seth Rogen's work, and I also love Jay and Silent Bob. But, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, this is Call of Duty. In my personal opinion, this is completely out of the ordinary for this franchise, and it just doesn't make too much sense. And you could see, bit by bit, day by day, month by month, and year by year, Activision indeed just wants to turn Call of Duty into Fortnite. Whereas Fortnite, though, it just started as a goofy game where pretty much any collab would work. Call of Duty, on the other hand, did not start off that way. It's a military arcade shooter since the beginning of time where the wildest camos were maybe putting some ducks on your weapon and that's it, nothing flashy. Where we fast forward nowadays, you're running around as actual ducks. It's mind-boggling the changes that this franchise is going through, and as I stated before, it's insane that Activision can't figure out why a lot of their hardcore audience is just simply bouncing. But ladies and gentlemen, as I also stated before, for the first time ever, the COD community seems to be at the end of the rope here when it comes to their patience with Activision and what they're doing to their favorite franchise. In the past, I've seen the community fight back, especially on Twitter, but 9 times out of 10, the whole comment section is going to be filled with people ranting. But at the end of the day, it's probably not going to catch Activision's interest too easily. But now, it's no way to even hide it. Ladies and gentlemen, the first initial post put out by Activision got 8,900 likes at the time of me going ahead and screenshotting it. Maybe it'll be a bit more, but I'm assuming the other post will be more as well. Here is a response by Hidden Xperia saying, "Remember when this was Call of Duty?" That's it. Just as simple as that, with a image of World at War. It got 12,000 likes, ladies and gentlemen. Activision got completely ratioed and put into the dirt, and honestly, there's probably no way they can even go ahead and ignore such a post like this one. As I stated before, I've seen comments, under these posts that are just ramming Activision, but they're not really going too crazy. Maybe they'll get, a few hundred, maybe even 1,000 likes or something like that, while the original post is still getting 8, 10, 15,000 plus likes. So as I just said, Activision could kind of just ignore it. But this is a whole different level, and it speaks so much truth about what the community is missing out on. And it's hilarious because people are trying to defend Activision through this post, saying, well, this is just campaign. Oh, you're screenshotting campaign instead of actually showing the real game. Okay, let's go over to Black Ops 6's campaign. Compare some of the characters that are in that game compared to World at War and their campaign. But even with that statement, forget all of that noise. The campaign looked like multiplayer when it came down to the OG CODs. What you saw is what you got. COD 4, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, BO1, Modern Warfare 3. Black Ops 2, they started to branch out a bit when it came to camos for your weapons. But your operators still were, they were grounded. It made logical sense. Absolute logical sense, and it fit the universe while they could still go ahead and sell microtransactions. COD had a vibe. It had a feel that is missing. And I've stated this before, and I'm going to state it again. It's why I believe so many Call of Duty players, for the first time ever, are jumping ship to Battlefield. I've been trying to get this to happen for years now. For ages, I've been trying to get, Call of Duty players to actually try out Battlefield and understand it and learn it. But they always say it's too slow, too campy, too boring, too much running, so on and so forth. For the first time ever, I haven't heard a single word about any of that. People are saying, screw it, I don't care how much it's going to take to learn it, I'm ditching this game and I'm going over to Battlefield just simply due to the visuals of the characters themselves. You're playing as soldiers, guys. And again, this can change later on if EA is going to be spamming weird cosmetics. But if we're talking about the base games here, yeah, I mean, compare Call of Duty Black Ops 6's base operators, some of them at least, compared to, Battlefield 6, whatever we're going to be calling it, and those base operators. A night and day difference. Exactly what the COD community has been begging for ages now. And as I stated, it's a reason why so many people are jumping ship for this Battlefield game, despite all the conflicts they've had with trying to transfer over to Battlefield in the past. COD has lost its identity. I don't care if this is the new trendy way. I don't care how much money it's making. I understand business and they're always going to be chasing the dollar bill, but I'm just talking from a community standpoint. And sometimes the community standpoint isn't going to benefit them more in the pockets. Who knows? I don't know the numbers. I'm just saying what the community wants out of Call of Duty again. The vibes they are craving. And what Hidden Xperia showcased is exactly that. But ladies and gentlemen, you know what's even crazier? It doesn't end off with just one person ratioing Activision. It was actually 2 posts that got more likes than the base Call of Duty post over on Twitter. The second one, as you can see here, by Ascent, saying, let's ban people for saying bad words, but let's push drug-related content on kids. And this post got 10,000 likes. I get it, though. It's a rated M game. So obviously, it's not supposed to be kids playing it. But the same thing could be said for, not being able to say bad words in the game. People are getting banned for saying the most simple of things. And again, I thought this was supposed to be a rated M game, right? Why would they be doing that unless it's a bunch of sensitive young children who shouldn't be hearing anything on the internet trying to be protected? You're telling me that Activision is trying to adult adults? That doesn't make any sense to me. If they're that protective over what people are saying in game chat, they should be that protective over the content they're showcasing in the game, I guess. But regardless, this is the second time that they went ahead and absolutely got blasted. And it was also another post that I saw that I thought was good. It didn't get as many likes, but it was still a solid one by Shad saying, I'm glad I have long since abandoned this franchise. And the reason why I wanted to post this one here is just to showcase the normal group chatter under all of these posts. Yeah, you usually see some hectic banter under other posts for different games, but 9 times out of 10, it's either people discussing the updates, the patches, so on and so forth, the content. Only Call of Duty can you go under every single tweet and see exactly this: why people are leaving, why people don't want to play the game anymore, what's going on with the franchise, skill-based matchmaking, servers, cheaters, every single post, and it's all you see. It's a wall of negativity. And it's gotten to the point where I don't know if Activision can even deny this anymore. And if you guys remember the talk a little while ago where Activision is actually saying that they see and recognize that the community doesn't enjoy this current direction that they are taking and they want those grounded style skins. Now, just saying that they acknowledge that doesn't mean that we're going to see any change in the future. But knowing that they acknowledged it while at the same time seeing every post being spammed and literally out, liking the original post by Activision on all occurrences, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know if they'll be able to abandon their moneymaker known as the microtransactions they sell within these games. But boy, oh boy, has COD lost its identity. It has completely lost its identity, and it's sad to watch as all these years go by. A game that is one of my favorite franchises ever. I love Call of Duty. Even till this current date, I'll still take the new generation of COD with the new movement systems and all that stuff. I'll still play it. Of course, skill-based matchmaking is always going to be a factor. But these games would be so much more bearable for a lot of other people if it didn't have to be so visually appalling to a big chunk of the player base. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you guys off there with this commentary. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming on through. Of course, if you guys enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, and if you hated it, don't forget, leave a dislike. It doesn't matter to me. Also, subscribe and hit that bell, ladies and gentlemen. We are indeed going to be trying to post as much content as possible revolving around Battlefield and Splitgate 2 as well, including Call of Duty. We'll see how the algorithm goes. The algorithm absolutely hates change when it comes to the game that you are discussing. But I don't know if I can miss out on these two games, man, and not make content about them. I just enjoy them so much. So, if you're interested in any of that stuff, subscribe and hit that bell so you can see all of this stuff, regardless if the algorithm decides to put me in your sub box or not. And last but not least, don't forget, you guys can check out my live streams over on Twitch Monday through Saturday, starting around, I would say, like 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And we will be checking out the mid-season event today over on Twitch. So if you guys want to squad up or even see my first initial impressions, you can find a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.